Morning and welcome again to Summit. It's another edition of the program, and we'll be talking about the issue of the Nigerians Must Go protest, which erupted in Ghana on the 29th of July 2025. And we'll also be looking at how possible it is to work towards getting a peaceful resolution to this issue between the two countries. You're welcome again. I am Jumoke Michaels. And to have this very important discussion with me this morning, I have Mr. Ademola Adegoke, a public affairs analyst and a consultant journalist. So you see that he's very apt, the very apt guest for this discussion. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Madam. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
Thanks so
welcome.
much.
All right.
Yeah.
So dozens of Ghanaians took to the streets demanding the expulsion of Nigerians from their country over allegations of rising crime, prostitution, virtual killings, and economic dominance. All right, so, and I know that one funny part of this issue is that I remember years ago when we used to say Ghana must go. We even have a bag.
Yeah.
We nicknamed, that thing that Ghana must go back.
Yeah.
So it's like what goes around comes around.
Yeah.
But looking deeply into this issue, for a start, how have you perceived this protest? And do you think they reflect a broader sentiment among Ghanaians?
Okay. Let's. You tried to go historical in your intro, talking about the Ghana must go bag and all of that. Let us situate the relationship, the diplomatic relationship between Nigeria and Ghana, the diplomatic trade and even cultural relationship between Nigeria within the right historical perspective first. Nigeria and Ghana, they are the two closest countries in the West in the West African region.
True.
Why? Because when you look at other countries, even our, Ghana is our closest Anglophone country. And not just Anglophone country. If you look at the West, the English-speaking, the Anglophone countries in West Africa, you have Sierra Leone, you have Liberia, you have Gambia, with the exception of Gambia, which is also an English colonized, a British colonized country. The two others, Liberia and Sierra Leone, were not British colonized. So the two biggest British colonized countries and closest, because when you leave Benin, you go to Togo, you understand the next country. If you leave Benin, if you get to Benin, which is our next door neighbor here, it's a Francophone country. Togo is a Francophone country. Côte d'Ivoire, all of those, they are Francophone countries. But the next to us, that is actually not just British colonized, but also not just Anglophone, but also British colonized, is Ghana. So there has been this very good rapport, and if you like, some rivalry too, between the two countries. In sports, in entertainment, there has always been this argument about, high life music,
Jollof rice.
Even jollof rice, where it originated from and all of that, And so there has been that close rapport and, a muted rivalry, if you like, you understand, between the two countries. And so Ghana was an economically buoyant country in the 60s and 50s. So you have a lot of Nigerians. So there were a lot of Nigerians that flooded the country, and they were doing so well. But in 1969, the Ghanaian Prime Minister then, Kofi Abrefa Busia, issued what he called Aliens Compliance Order. And that Aliens Compliance Order now said that every foreigner that was without proper documentation should leave the country. And that resulted, in the deportation of, so many Nigerians. In fact, as at the time it happened, some Nigerians had stayed there for so long a time that they didn't even know, their hometown again. I could remember several songs about Ghanaian deportees that did not, even in Yoruba land, mocking them that they got to the song will get to their hometown and they will be saying, where is your house? And our house used to be near one Iroko tree and all of that, because things had changed.
Yeah.
So that was the situation, you understand? But later, things, there was a reversal of fortune, for Ghana. And then Ghanaians started coming to Nigeria. And people of my age who were in secondary school in the late 70s and early 80s, you discover that many of our teachers were Ghanaians. But in 1982, the Shagari government also now issued an order that 1983, that all foreigners, without proper documentation should leave the country. And that also resulted into the mass exodus of Ghanaians, teachers, the cobblers, and all of them, you understand, leaving the country. And that was the origin of the bag we now call Ghana Must Go bag. Because when they were going, it was that bag that they were using to pack, their load. So the bag was now, named, tagged Ghana Must Go up till now. So 1984, Shagari repeated same. You understand? I know Buhari had come into power. So by the time that one died down, the dust raised by that was coming down. Buhari had come into government and he issued another. So within the space of 2 years, Ghanaians were expelled. So you can see, so that has been. But now, it has also, Nigerians too are now going to their country in large number. And Nigerians, because of our industry, our maybe I would say smartness in most things, wherever Nigerians get to, you expect that, they will be very, very conspicuous. You understand? And then, so it has now gotten to a level that Ghanaians were feeling that Ghanaians are now feeling they are being overshadowed. And so that has been the origin of but that is not all. That has been the origin of the recent Nigerians Must Go protest. But also, there is also this issue of the way Nigerians, comport themselves when they get to foreign land. Apart from, I've talked about Nigerians, the industry, the natural industry, of that Nigerians, the industriousness of Nigerians, wherever they get to. But you will also not deny the fact that some of our countrymen don't represent us well when they get to foreign land. You get to a foreign land and you are engaging in crime, of diverse forms and all of that, and you want to even oppress the citizens there in one form or the other, to the extent that some people gathered together and they said they were going to have an Igbo king in Ghana. And, an Igbo...
They already have.
An Igbo king in Ghana. Yeah. So, for an average Ghanaian, this looks like a cultural affront. One affront too many. And so they now felt that these Nigerians, they came here, doing all sorts of things to the extent that they are now saying that they want to have a king.
But how dangerous is this narrative? This narrative you just expressed, how dangerous it is, not just to Ghana, but even to Nigeria?
It is not.
Is it the repercussion we are seeing
It is
playing out?
It is the repercussion we're seeing playing out. But the good thing about this is that it is not government-driven. It is citizen-driven. You understand? Okay. It is not like the ones like the previous ones I talked about, the Busia Aliens Compliance Order of 1969, the Shagari Illegal Aliens Deportation Policy of 1983, and the Buhari, the similar one by Buhari of 1984. These were all government-driven. You understand?
So that's the difference now.
That's the difference
from how it was in Nigeria to what is playing out in Ghana.
To what is playing out in Ghana now. So it is not government-driven. You understand? The Ghanaian government, although before now there had also been complaints by Nigerian investors that the economic environment was not was made a bit hostile for them by Ghanaian policies. But this present protest is not government driven, it's citizen driven. It came out of people feeling, having that sense of that sense of oppression, by foreigners. So it's a dangerous one, whichever way you want to look at it, if it is not quickly doused. You understand? If the flame is not quickly doused, because you may say, yes, it is citizen-driven, but then it could result in killings, it could result in destruction of property. So that is just it. And I'm happy that the two governments are already taking steps to douse the tension.
All right. So Nigeria, like you pointed out while you were talking about history, You mentioned that Nigeria and Ghana are one of the ECOWAS countries.
Yes,
they are member countries to
we are,
ECOWAS.
we are.
All right. So now, given these tensions, do you think ECOWAS Free Movement Protocol needs a review with what's playing out now?
Yes. The thing about the ECOWAS Free Movement Protocol you talk about is that it grants free movement to all ECOWAS member to all citizens of ECOWAS member countries, and it says that if you are not staying more than 90 days in a place, you don't need a visa. You don't need any visa. If you are going to Ghana today as a Nigerian, just carry your Nigerian passport. When you get to the border there, it is stamped, and then you can stay for 90 days and return. But you know that there has been an abuse. You understand? Not all the people that are in Ghana, have not spent more than 90 days. So yes, you may need to, because the job, the duty, the responsibility of any government in the first place is to protect the citizens, is to protect its own citizens. So you don't want a situation that you say, okay, because you are opening your borders in line with the ECOWAS protocol, and your own citizens are at risk. So, and don't forget that you have mentioned trade dominance. Well, trade dominance is not a crime. If it only tells you that you need to up your ante, in what you do. If foreigners come and then they are doing so well, they are doing much better than you are doing, that's not a crime. But the crime there is that when you go to a foreign country and you are engaging in kidnapping, you are engaging in drug addiction, in drug trafficking, you are engaging in even prostitution and all of that. That is not good, and it is not just good for the host country. It is also not good for the image of your own country. So as to the review of ECOWAS protocol, yes, there may be need to also say, okay, but whoever that has overstayed that has stayed beyond the stipulated time, well, we be subject to deportation. You understand?
But don't you think that if that is done, if like you said that Nigerians living in Ghana who are not there
illegally,
who are there illegally, if they are deported, don't you think Nigerians too will retaliate? They will reciprocate act.
That is why you see there is the principle of diplomatic reciprocity. You understand? And you don't, like I've said, you cannot say because the duty of every government is first to protect its own citizens, the interest of its own citizens.
Yes.
So if people, you will discover that most times people that engage in crime, people that engage in unwholesome activities are people that are not legally documented. They are people that they know they cannot be easily traced. When you look at people, people that are well documented, they don't want, they want to abide, they want to live in adherence to the rules and regulations of their host communities. So if we say that people, it can be done in such a way that if you are here and you are not proper, that you are not properly documented, you give them a time frame and you say, come and be properly documented.
All right,
you understand? So that we can trace you.
I'm still going to come to this because it's like talking about solution.
You are looking for solutions.
So before we get to issue of solutions, there are also allegations that the Nigerian High Commission in Ghana has failed to take decisive action to protect the interest of its citizens in that country, and that the mission had remained largely silent in the face of increasing harassment, discrimination, discriminatory policies, like you said, and targeted crackdowns on Nigerian businesses. Now, are they adequate, these commissions, are they adequately equipped to protect Nigerians in such situations?
In such situations, well, you see, in fairness to our foreign missions abroad, to our foreign missions, in fairness to them, I want to say that they will only be able to protect citizens that are living within the confines of the law.
Of the law.
Of the
it still
law.
comes down to the law.
To the law.
Yeah.
So in fairness to them, you see, if a citizen goes and engages in unwholesome activities, unwholesome practices, in a foreign land, to what extent can the foreign, there are laws, you understand, in every country. And you know that when you get to any country, any community at all, the first thing you want to know is their do's and don'ts. You understand? If the lawlessness that you are used to in your own land, you want to carry it to a foreign land, it is possible they say, no, we don't take this here. You understand? So, to that extent, the foreign missions will not be able to protect or to take any decisive step. It will not be able to protect the people that are involved in criminal activities. But in the case of discriminatory policies, discriminatory trade policies and all of that, apart from it now becomes, a diplomatic issue. And then the foreign mission, all that I expect is that the foreign mission, yes, they can take it up, but they will also report to the home government. For example, on this issue now, Nigeria has dispatched this woman, Bianca Ojukwu, the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, to go there, and then she met with the Ghanaian authorities, and they said that they are going to protect Nigerians that they will protect. The Ghanaian government said, no, this has nothing to do with us. As far as we are concerned, Nigeria is our sister country, and then we cannot do anything to harm against the interest of Nigeria. So the Ghanaian government has done that. So for me, the foreign missions will only be able to act when the citizens that they are supposed to represent are living within the confines of the law. That is. But if there are other things that maybe we have NIDCOM, that is Nigerians in Diaspora Commission. We also, apart from which is also under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, I think it reports directly to the presidency. So these are bodies that, our compatriots that feel that they are being maltreated in foreign lands can report to, and it will be taken
All right,
up.
but this step taken by the federal government to send the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs to Ghana, is this step proactive and diplomatic enough to this issue?
For me, I don't think there is any other way to go about it other than this. Especially, we said earlier on that this is not government driven. It is not any government policy. It is just that the people felt it was a spontaneous reaction to what they perceive as the excesses of foreigners in their land. And what you can just do is to resort to a consultation and engagement of the authorities of the other country to ensure that in all of this, the citizens have a right to complain on any issue. If they feel that, the excesses of some people, are becoming too much, they have a right to complain. They have a right to express their minds. What they do not have right to do is to resort to wanting killings, mayhem, and maltreatment of Nigerians. They don't have that right. So, and the role of our own government now is to engage the Ghanaian government to say that in all of this, we want our citizens, we want the lives and property of our citizens protected.
You remember the xenophobic attacks in South Africa?
Yes.
I think that was 2013, 2014, around that time. Was that xenophobic attack also citizens-driven?
It was.
Because it actually went too far. There were killings, Nigerians were displaced. Many of them had to return home at that time. You remember?
I do. For me, the proactive step that government can take, to is to quickly, deploy all, the measures that they need to deploy, intelligence, security, such that even at the planning stage, it is, quelled. They do not allow it to escalate. To escalate. And then where they know that, there are crisis-prone areas that government will know, intelligence will even tell you. Government has all the machinery to do all of that. Government has intelligence, and then I expect that if the foreign countries are not in subtle acquiescence to what the citizens are doing, they can quickly act. You understand? But where it is felt that the government has not done its own part, our own government can also take them up. And then apart from in the case of Ghana now, we both belong to ECOWAS. The Ghanaian government, if we feel that the Ghanaian government has not done its part very well, they can be taken to ECOWAS. If ECOWAS will not be able to handle it, we have AU too that can take it up. So these are diplomatic steps that can be taken to handle situations like this.
Okay, so aside these handing over the issue to ECOWAS or AU if both countries cannot resolve the issue. Are there any other specific actions or initiatives you'd like to see taken to promote understanding, cooperation, and mutual relationship between Nigerians and Ghana? That's talking about long-term solutions.
Long-term solutions now. Long-term solutions, we will be talking, the place now we will ask, what role does enlightenment have in the citizens' enlightenment and proper citizen engagement? What role does it have? Well, on our home part as a country, I think there will be need for bodies like NIDCOM to have better engagement with the people in diaspora. They have associations, Nigerians in Ghana or whatever. I know that there are former bodies, that the government can engage to get to its citizens, to relate with its citizens abroad in almost any way. And we expect that what that engagement will do is to get first-hand information from the citizens and their complaints. What do they, what are your complaints? And then before it gets to levels like that, it will have been taken up with the host government to say, we are getting these complaints from our citizens in your country. They are saying this, they are saying that. But proper engagement will do that. Another thing that proper engagement will do is to ensure self-regulation. Self-regulation by the citizens there. You understand that? Please. So the engagement will let people know that when you are in a foreign land, there are things you don't do. You understand? A Yoruba adage will say, "Báyìí là ń ṣe nílé wa, èèwọ̀ bòmíì." Meaning that this is the way we behave in our home. When you get to another home, it becomes a taboo. You understand? Yeah. So there are things you may get away with in your own land that you may not, even when for example, they are complaining, even when it is legal. For example, there are things they say they are complaining of trade dominance. Trade dominance. If I get to your land and God has blessed me more than you are, I don't flaunt it to your face. You understand? To make you feel like you don't know what you are doing. I don't flaunt it to your face. But if I go and I start misbehaving, doing as if I am better than you on your own land, of course, it can provoke it can provoke some negative sentiment. So engagement between the appropriate bodies like NIDCOM, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the missions abroad, and our citizens, we address all of this. That don't engage in criminal activities. Know what you do, and once you stay within the confines of the law, we know how to protect you. So these are these are things.
All right. So we can't end this conversation without leaving a message to Nigerians themselves who live in Ghana or any other West African countries or even in the diaspora. Exactly. What would be your sincere advice to them in the face of this kind of situation?
My sincere advice, one, is that please, wherever you are as Nigerians, be on the side of the law. Be on the side of the law. Don't engage in criminal activities. Don't engage in things that will even, be a disservice to the image of your nation, of your home nation. So please, don't engage in such activities. Then again, I will also advise, vigilance. Vigilance. You understand? whenever if you are in a place and you see that you are a foreigner and you are hearing that some things are being planned, to harm Nigerians, please quickly find a safe place, to take refuge. Don't wait until you have become helpless and you are put in harm's way. So don't wait till then. Put your ears on the ground as a foreigner, especially in moments like this, so that your lives will not be in danger. Your lives and property and those of your relations that are there with you will not be in danger.
All right, thank you. And I think it's this issue of Nigerians just jackpying, and
yeah.
sometimes some places look better than their own home country.
Yes, they say the grass is always greener, at the other side. But then, it's not every time that the grass is greener on the other side. Before you go to any country, get all the information you can get about that country.
And know if you'll be able to cope with their policies.
With their policies.
Yeah.
Yes. So that is also very important. That before you even jackpot to anywhere, before you take a flight to any place, you are supposed to know, how well will I cope in this land. Perhaps if I had stayed where I am, I can even be better off.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me once again.
For honoring this invitation to have this very important discussion, because it is very, very important. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, it's still Summit, and we'll go on to the next segment of the program like we do every week, showcasing some other form of developmental strides of the Babajide Sanwo-Olu administration in Lagos State. We'll have this package, and that will end the program. So I'll see you again next week. Don't forget to join us again. I am Jumoke Michaels. Bye-bye.